Have you heard of VO3? The AI crazy videos? I'm so scared, to be honest. Like, is this real? Like, it freaks me out so much.
Now that we're talking about this, what AI doesn't do so well, like it doesn't show the human flaws, right? They don't have a stutter. AI has so many benefits. You use it every day, I bet.
Yes.
I definitely use it every day.
You can upload all of that information into ChatGPT. It can also kind of predict what trends are going to be, super popular based off your data. These are your best-selling categories.
I know you have a content machine. You're doing these long-form videos every single day. Opus Clip is where you can upload a long-form video, and it will, using AI, will generate clips for you that would be viral worthy. Hey, before we start the episode, I want to ask a quick favor. Look, I'm the CEO of GRACE+EMMA, and I am so proud to be selling to thousands of small businesses across the country. One thing that is extremely important to us is to always support small businesses in any way we can. So this podcast that you're about to listen to is just one way we do that. Now, what would help me tremendously is if you can click the subscribe button down below and lend us a like on this episode. It really helps the algorithm, but really more than anything, it tells us that you're listening and that the information is valuable. And it really puts us in a position to get really good interviews on board and to increase the educational output. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you very much.
Behind brand Behind brand lines.
Have you heard of VO3?
The Google thing?
The AI crazy videos?
Oh my gosh, we're so cooked.
I'm so scared, to be honest. Like, I was watching this video on YouTube the other day, and I'm watching it and I'm like, is this real? Like, it freaks me out so much.
People may be thinking we're AI right now.
I know.
It looks so real.
We're not AI, but it's a thing and it's crazy and it has me thinking, like, am I not going to see my favorite actors in any movies?
That's actually interesting. Like, if Brad Pitt was to say, hey, I'm going to license my how I look and my, likeness to an AI platform and I never have to act anymore. They'll just the AI will analyze all of his prior movies and then read the new script that's given to the AI.
It's crazy.
We are so cooked.
I know. We're cooked.
It's actually an interesting thought though, is in the world where AI just continues to get better. I mean, to think ChatGPT is only 2 years old and every couple months we get a new version that's even more powerful. And not just here's 10% more. These are exponentially better models that keep coming out. What's going to happen with normal creators?
I don't know. Honestly, I really think that people still have that bond and connection when seeing a real person talking, whether it's a live stream or just, their everyday content. But there is that point when, you see the VO3 and you watch those videos. Are you going to be able to tell which one is real? And
so I have a prediction actually about AI and content creation. Now that we're talking about this, what AI doesn't do so well, it always gives a perfect, it doesn't show the human flaws, right? So some of the VO3 videos that you've seen is there's no blemishes on the person, no, they don't have a stutter, they don't have they don't say filler words and things that we're doing right now as we're talking. And I think now whenever someone puts out real content from a real human being, those very human traits that make us human or that show our flaws will actually be more endearing. Do you potentially see that as someone who might have a little bit of a tick, we may see them as, oh, this is such a human thing.
No, I agree. And it, like I said, it really just like builds that connection back and it makes you feel happy. And, I personally follow, different influencers and stuff, but the reason why I follow them is because they're relatable to me and maybe we have things in common. I don't think I would follow a robot, a perfect robot.
I know. Gary Vee thinks that our grandchildren are going to be marrying AI robots. Like, I mean, it's a pretty bold prediction, but AI has so many benefits. You use it every day, I bet.
Yes.
I definitely use it every day. I think what we want to do, Chansey and I, was get together and do an episode where we share the different AI tools that would actually be really useful to boutiques and retailers of all sorts. So, I think we're going to just take turns on which tool you like and what tool I like, and we'll talk about how retailers can use it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So, should I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. So, my life has changed from this one AI platform. It's called Fyxer AI. I'll put the link in the description. So we'll put links for all these in the description because all these spellings are different, like odd and stuff like that. So we'll make sure we put the link so you get routed to the right place. We don't want you to go spend money with some place that it's not been vetted. But Fyxer AI has been a godsend for me. So I don't know about what your emails look like. My emails, I have like probably 3,000 unread emails. I used to pride myself on having 0 unread emails at the end of the day. But now I'm like, it's just gotten so out of hand, like emails from school, emails from, work emails, this, that, and I have 2 inboxes, but I've been able to add on Fyxer AI. So what Fyxer AI does is it'll read your inbox, every email that comes in, it'll read it and it'll read your prior messages in that email thread. So let's say it's been a back and forth with a customer in my case, for a retailer, maybe a vendor, right? It's been back and forth. They will read my tone and how I've been talking to that person, and it'll generate a response to that customer. It will not send it though. It will sit in my email like a draft, right? So if you have Gmail, it'll just sit in your drafts and it'll be labeled as awaiting reply. So they'll use the built-in Google features of awaiting reply, and it'll build the draft in based off of my tone that I've had with that customer. And it'll just let me know that, hey, this is awaiting reply, like you need to send this. And it'll even give me 2 options. So it'll say option 1, option 2. I can just delete whichever option I don't like, or I can delete the whole thing and just rewrite my own thing. But it does bring to light that this is requiring a response. And then it'll also label your other emails, like these are your FYI emails, or like just FYI, like your kid has International Week next week or whatever. It's like different things like that. Like it kind of changes the way you approach your email every day. But I've been so much more responsive with my emails. And I think this would be a really good tool for retailers who probably get bombarded from emails from their wonderful sales reps.
Yep.
But this would be a way where it would categorize it as like, oh, this is Chansey just saying FYI, like Dallas Market's coming up, or FYI, can I schedule you for for an appointment? And it would be FYI, or it would be awaiting reply. It'll, and so if it gets labeled as awaiting reply, meaning like you need to respond back to Chansey.
I like this. I think I might have to use this for my own personal email as well, because everything that he just said, you sold me. You sold me on
it is paid. All of these are have a paid option to them, but it is a really, really good, well-built system. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
Which one do you got?
So we're going to talk about ChatGPT. I feel like the most talked about AI platform ever. Everybody's always saying, hey, chat, because you can literally ask it anything. It's crazy. So I think one way that you can use this platform to really just help you stay on track is using it for your pre-ordering, not just at market, but just pre-ordering in general. You can basically upload a CSV file or, a document that has all of your past buying history, what you already pre-ordered, you can upload all of that information into ChatGPT, and then it will basically just break it all down for you and tell you, like, these are your best-selling categories. You sell tops more than you sell dresses. You actually specifically sell more blue tops than pink tops. Your best-selling pattern is leopard print. Your best-selling sizes are medium and large. It'll just narrow all of that down for you and even tell you what you're not selling. So maybe you haven't sold any jeans, maybe you're not selling denim right now. It'll break it all down. And then when you go to market, or if you go to a virtual or, any sort of appointment, you're prepared, you have a plan, you know what you need to go deeper in, what maybe you probably shouldn't go deeper in. And then not only that, it can also kind of predict what trends are going to be, super popular based off your data. So if leopard print is going to be super trendy for fall, winter 2025, maybe you get more leopard print tops because that's your best-selling category and pattern. It just makes your life easier, which we all want.
That's actually so interesting. So market is coming up. So I'm just imagining if I'm a retailer and I'm going to buy fall, winter 2025, right? I can say, your results are only as good as your prompt, right? So if I say, chat, act as if you are a seasoned buyer for a clothing boutique, and I'm going to share my data, my results from 2024 on what was my best sellers. I'm going to give you a description of what my customers' fashion style they like and what they're looking for lately. And I want you to create a buying plan for me if I want to make $2 million this fall, winter with this product. Like, how much do I need to buy? Which categories do I need to buy? How many pieces in each of those categories? And even if you don't follow it to a T, it's a good recommendation. It's a good outline, right? Of this is where most of your dollars are coming from, right?
Yeah, no, I think it is almost necessary going into this new year. I mean, everything has changed. Everything is evolving, and it is a guide for you. You're setting yourself up for success, and think of it as a personal buying assistant in a way, your friend that never gets tired or distracted because it's AI, and it'll help you focus on, our all end goal, which is to profit in your business.
Absolutely. So I'll go next. Since we did talk about Shopify, I want to talk about a Shopify app that you can add in. It's called HelloRep. And so one thing, I don't know if our listeners struggle with this, but we have customers sending us questions middle of the night. Like, they're shopping on our website. These are boutique owners who are busy during the day. And then they're on our wholesale website at nighttime, and they're asking questions like, hey, can I, what's the return policy? Or what's, basic information that's already on the website, but it's the matter of finding it, right? So HelloRep is this chat box that can be sitting on your website. It'll not only give information that's already on your website, and it'll word it as a human does in chat form, right? So if that chat box, if someone asks that chat box, hey, what's the return policy on this? Or what's, when is, what pants would go with this top, right? And they may not see that what we recommend and things like that. It reads all of those data points and it'll give information, right? So it'll read your FAQs, it'll read your return policy, it'll even look at your product pictures and then give recommendations based off of your buying pattern, right? So if you are logged in and you buy a lot of leopard, right, it'll recommend leopard products to you, right? Based off of what, because the AI is not just looking at it in terms of units sold, but how the product looks as well, right? So it'll give those recommendations. Or if you buy a lot of turquoise jewelry and it belongs into a certain category, it'll recommend other products you have not bought yet from that same category. So, so there's a customer service aspect, but also the upselling aspect. And I think this would be a really good tool for boutiques, especially if they are trying to ramp up their online sales and without needing a warm human to like sit there on the chat, like, because you don't know if it's going to be worth it yet, right? And once you do ramp up your sales, then you can maybe add the human in. But for the time being, you could try the chat and see. You could always read the transcripts later on where maybe you gave a wrong suggestion. But HelloRep seems I'm honestly considering this for our wholesale website.
That's pretty cool. I like the upselling aspect as well. When I go on websites and shop, I always like to kind of shop for a whole outfit. And not only that, something similar probably. So I think that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that was AI.
Not every time. It just depends. Yeah. I mean, when we had a chat box, we would have someone like our customer service team or, someone logged in at all times. Often it would be me. Just whenever I'd be at my computer, I'd just have the chat box on.
That's pretty cool.
What do you got next?
So we're going to talk about Shopify, specifically Shopify Magic. Basically, when you think of this, think of something that is going to make your product look better. Something to make your product look pretty, your website look pretty, just make it all super cohesive. Basically, what it can do is make your life easier. So it can write your product descriptions, and it's going to be customized. It can be fully customizable as well, for each product, as well as create email content for you, different campaigns, promos, again, making it all cohesive and just make sense. It'll also suggest customer replies, quick responses, and then lastly, smart suggestions, which has not started yet. This is coming soon. So this will be an update with their AI tool, but it'll basically give you product and sales insights and just kind of, why is it helpful though? Obviously, this is saving your time and it's making your life easier. And like I said before, it is making everything pretty. It is making it cohesive. It's making it make sense. So it's saving your time. It's supporting you. It's boosting your sales on top of all of that. And it's easy to use. It's on your Shopify app. It is all connected with Shopify. So it just makes it easier.
Yeah, I love this. And I love how they labeled it Shopify Magic, because it's really focused on the product detail page, because that's where the magic happens, right? That's where people decide add to cart or not, right? So they make that product detail page really informative. It really makes it enticing for the customer. So the product description, believe it or not, people read that, right? And then it'll even, if you tell it to generate more SEO words, right? So where it's more, it can be found on Google more easily and things like that. It'll put those types of keywords in. So when people search, again, it seems like leopard is the theme of the hour, but like, so people search leopard dress and your product description is dialed in, you'll rank higher on Google. And the other thing I noticed that is like, they'll even upgrade your photos, right? I think you mentioned that, but you can remove background, change sizing, change the background altogether. I love this. I love this so much.
I know. And honestly, more than ever, people are really looking at product descriptions. I find myself doing that as well. I want to know everything. I want to know the fabric. I want to know if it's going to fit me. And I also want to know if I'm going to like it. And if it has all of those details in there, automatic.
Yeah, that's true. Like, it's not even so much like the description, it's the information that you get. You don't want to get stuck with something that you have to return. The return process sucks, right? So if whatever information, the good information that you can get from the listing, it helps me make the purchase if the description's good.
Right.
That's awesome. So this isn't an AI one, but it works with AI platforms. So it's been around a while, so I'm going to call it the OG, Zapier. So Zapier is a very underutilized tool, I feel like, in our industry. I've talked to a lot of retailers and many of them have never heard of it. So Zapier, what it does, they do these things called zaps, right? And it's all automation based. And the reason why I'm mentioning this on this episode is because it does work with a lot of AI platforms. So the way we use Zapier was, on our wholesale website, you had to get approved, right, to shop with us. And we would have people sign up all times of the day, right? So what Zapier does is I was able to build a form out on a separate platform, right, where you can fill out all of your wholesale information, upload your sales tax ID, this and that, all the things that we require to shop wholesale. And then when you apply to Shopify, second platform, I can build a connection. So when someone fills out the form, that information will then go and create a customer file on Shopify. And then it'll even approve them based off of that information. So if they filled out all the fields, it'll go ahead and pre-approve them, right, to shop. Now, what we just have to do, we still have the human touch on it where we have to go and verify that that is actually true data, because they could have uploaded a picture of their dog, right, instead of the sales tax ID. So we want to make sure that it is accurate. But what we gained was the dead time of them not shopping. So maybe how a retailer could use this is if someone signs up on the website, you can automatically ping them with an email, right? So some people like to use Zapier as their email client automation. Shopify has it built in, but assuming that you don't like the Shopify built-in platform, you want to do it that way. There's other ways to do it too, is like replying to your customer emails. So if you do get a email in the inbox, in your general inbox, Zapier can read that email, and then you can say, go generate you can give a preset command to Shopify, to ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT response will go back to Zapier or go back to your email. So it's all interconnected, and you can literally select these different platforms and say you can tell it what to do. And these zaps just happen back and forth without you knowing. So I think it's a really cool automation that retailers should consider.
I like that they call it zaps.
Yeah.
Makes it more fun. Well, we're going back to Shopify. We're going to talk about Shopify Sidekick now, which is basically going to help you operate smoother. It's going to make everything nice and smooth. So it is similar to like the Shopify Magic, but like I said, the Shopify Magic, that is made to make everything look pretty, make your product look better, product descriptions, and then the Sidekick is going to help the operational part behind the scenes. So basically, it is going to be kind of like your personal business assistant to help you run your business smarter, faster, more effective. It can help with like store management. You can create like discount codes. It'll automatically generate that for you. Just makes it so much easier. It'll help you edit product listings, update your inventory just by asking, which is so nice. It can also kind of suggest different things for you to do, like suggest different marketing ideas, promotions. It is trying to help you operate smoother and make more money at the same time. And inventory restocks based on your store data. So if you need to restock something, it'll alert you you're selling a ton of this specific top. It learns from how your store is performing, and it helps you make these better, smarter decisions.
So I'm going to change it up. I know in the notes I wrote something about a different AI platform, but I'm going to change it up on you because I think this would be a game changer if you're a live seller. Okay. So if you are a live seller, I really think you have a content machine. I know you have a content machine. You are doing these long form videos every single day, right? So what you miss out on is like the opportunities where like funny things happen, or very viral type moments happen on your live. And the idea of going back, chopping it up, cutting it out, it's so cumbersome for boutiques because they have another live the next day. So there's this one platform called Opus Clip. Okay. Again, we'll put the link in the bio or in the description, but Opus Clip is where you can upload a long form video, and it will, using AI, will generate clips for you that would be viral worthy, right? So it could be your live model tripping over a wire and falling, right? It would know that that's historically has performed well, that kind of video has performed well on social media. So they'll go ahead and pre-clip that. It'll even give you a rating on the virality rating on what's the likelihood of this going viral. And so, I think what reason why this idea came to me is because a lot of streamers online do clipping like that, where, you know, Kai Cenat and like Neon, what they'll do is, like, I don't watch any of their lives, but I'll often, if I see one of their clips, like on TikTok or Instagram, I will stop and watch it, because it's just like, you know, I may not sit there for 2 hours and watch that, but now I'm enticed because I can talk about Kai Cenat knowing that, oh, he does funny stuff just from a few clips I've seen of him. So if you want to be seen as someone who has like a fun live that you want to encourage others to come in and chime in, use Opus Clip or use a clip. There's other AI clip generating platforms. Upload your full live and see what kind of clips you get back in place. And you get a bunch of Instagram reels or TikToks out of it. So, you know, they'll do vertical videos and everything. It's pretty cool. They'll even reframe it. So it's awesome how they do it.
That's so cool. I've never heard of this. I'm going to have to use that because we need that for our lives.
Honestly, like, I mean, the amount of times, like, I mean, you guys are so goofy on the live, right? Like, yeah. You could probably generate some really funny clips from there. Should I go and say Zeely ads?
Yeah.
Okay. So Zeely AI, it's growing really fast. We haven't used it yet, so I can't put my stamp on it without knowing more about it. But one of the stresses for people running social media ads is the creatives behind it. You have to generate so many different creatives. Like, you have to do a 3x4 orientation. You do a square orientation. You do ads that show up on stories. Then you have to do video ads and this and that. For even one single collection, you have so many different creatives to make. What Zeely does is it'll generate creatives for you. Static images. So if you upload your photo, it'll create like kind of like a static image of, like, you know, why people love our lip gloss or whatever. You know, it's like it'll generate that static image for you, but it could even generate videos for you. So it'll show that product image and then a AI avatar talking about how great this lip gloss is, right?
Cool.
It's scary.
That's a little scary.
Yeah, it is scary, and I think. Honestly, I'm also a believer is, like, people right now at the moment can tell when it's AI and not AI. When people start using VO3 and all that stuff, it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. It makes your life easier.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's so many platforms out there. There's so much noise. There's like a big AI gold rush happening right now.
Yeah, there is. Everywhere I look, there's AI. And we really use ChatGPT every day. It helps me with everything. Recipes.
Nick, were you there 2 years ago when I first, in our all hands, when I talked about ChatGPT when it first launched 2.5 years ago?
No, I don't think I was.
Okay, so it was October 22. So it'll be 3 years this October. I remember, like, I heard about ChatGPT, or I found out about ChatGPT. It got, like, announced overnight. A bunch of, like, the Silicon Valley friends I have and stuff, they were, like, on our chat line, they were like, yo, like, check this out. Like, no one really it just happened. Like, it was, people knew about OpenAI and what Sam Altman was doing, but, like, it just popped up. And I remember telling my team, like, I want you guys to start using this. And everyone thought it was cheating. Like that was the initial feeling that, do you want us to actually use this for our emails or use this for, I'm like, yes, I want you to go faster if you can, right? So I think the key is like, while the human touch matters, it's also use these tools to enhance your business. What you do best, AI is supposed to enhance what you do best, not necessarily take away from what you do best. So really use it that way. I think that's the key on how we can have a healthy balance with AI and humanity.
I agree. Just it adds something, it enhances. That's really all it does.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Chansey's checking out.
Bye,
I could talk
chat.
about this for hours. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. AI is amazing, but it's also scary and we all have to tread carefully. But if you are not subscribed, we know many of you guys watch us on YouTube and are not subscribed. So go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit the like button too, because if you found this valuable, so will other people. And then if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please hit subscribe and leave us a positive rating. Again, we do this not because we make any money, extra money off of this. This is really to continue to show support to private, small retailers. That is why we do this. This is what our mission is, to continue to support them any way we can. So with that being said, cheers.
Bye, chat.